Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunattu Sahavidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti. Hari Om. Those who pursue this knowledge of the self can be classified into 4 categories. Those who seek this knowledge. The first type, the lowest category of the student or the person, is an onlooker. Curiosity. He just comes in as a person who is curious to know something. Perchance they come in. They don't have any interest in the subject, but they come in because of curious. Like lot of time you browse in YouTube, you just see the title they give and you click that. You did not come to the site or come to that YouTube typing search. I search for this and I come in. That is one thing. Another thing is you are seeing something as a pop-up, it gives you, suggestions based on some random suggestions or promotion, whatever it is. Just appears there. The moment it appeared there, you click it. You see, and then you watch. Or you are just going on the way. On the way, when you are going to your office, you suddenly see to your right hand side, there is a Ganesha temple. You just do this and go. You see, a lot of people do that in the bus. I used to, mock at those people. In a flying kiss, with all this, these girls, would be going. They'll do this immediately. Why are you giving it to Ganesha? We are waiting here. It's not a devotee or anything. You just see that, you just react. By chance, you see the temple. Same way, by chance, this person sees the lecture. I did not look for it. You see, accidental. This is the first category, which is referred as jignasu, curiosity. Then there is a second set of people who are really interested in the subject. They are called vidyarthis. They are seeking that vidya, knowledge. They are the student. But their interest goes only to the level of learning the subject. What is in that I have to know. What is in Bhagavad Gita? I have to know what is in Bhagavad Gita. This is it. Nothing more than it. I just wanted to know what is stated in the Gita. I have to know what is in. I have studied Bhagavad Gita. I have studied this 10 Upanishads. Now, when are you going to take this Brahma Sutra? Right. And then he says, okay, I have studied Brahma Sutra. Now I have to study this, you heard a lot about this Yoga Vasishta. Do you teach Yoga Vasishta? Person calls. And then he says, I have studied on Vedanta Shastra, I have studied. Now I wanted to study Siddhanta. Not that you should not read. Then he says, I have studied, Saiva Siddhanta, I have studied. I have studied Vedanta. Now I wanted to study Buddhism. And I wanted to study Schopenhauer, Hegel, and, philosophers like that. This is the person who goes little more than the first one. The first one just comes curious. That's about it. Curiosity. And the curiosity will get, quenched so easily. There's no problem at all. There is no need of a big commitment and all. Casual. That is very, very casual, that first person. Second person is committed, but his commitment is up to theoretical study. I had one fellow who used to attend the class, Bhagavad Gita class. And then he asked me, do you teach any other class? I said, yeah, I have other class here, there. And this fellow started coming to all the classes. Oh, this class, every class he is sitting. I got so, inquisitive. I said, nah, how is it possible that fellow will be sitting in all the classes? Because he's a young chap. Not like you people, all old. You have nothing else to do. I also nothing else to do. You have nothing to do. I have nothing to do. Therefore, we entertain each other here. This is a different, setup. And boy was not like that. He is looking, very young, very dynamic, and taking notes and asking clarifications. What about this? What about that? After about 3 months, I asked him one day. I said, "What are you doing?" Then he said, "I'm preparing for IAS, and I have taken philosophy as a subject. So I have been searching. I couldn't find a person who will be explaining things, the way we can follow. So I saw you. So I was coming here. Interest is not Vedanta. IAS is the interest, but committed to study the subject. This is the Vidyarthi category. The category, just words, okay. Student. You can take it as a student. First fellow is just a curious guy. Second fellow is a student of that particular subject. Is interested. Then there is a third category who is slightly superior. Is known as Antevasi, who stays the indweller. In the older days, the Gurukula, the students they'll come in the morning, attend the Gurukula, day, night, go back. This is one category. Another category is those who live inside the Gurukula. This is another category of education. Like day scholars we have, no? Like that. The second category is a day scholar category. Third one is a boarding. Lodging, everything is there inside. College, hostel. He stays in the hostel and studies. The third, that's Antevasi. He's living inside, indweller. Of course, there are a lot of implications there. Indweller means a lot of things and all, but you don't have to go through that sort of a detailed study. Just have to understand there is a next category of student. What he is doing is, he is one step above the second. What he does is, he says, I wanted to study the subject. I wanted to gain this knowledge. The purpose is what? The first category, purpose is entertainment. Second category, purpose is scholarship, expertise. The third category, the purpose is, he says, I want to be a better person. You see, third category. I'm studying the subject Vedanta for what? For transforming myself. So I come to God, I come to Vedanta, I come to spiritual, all that, religion, whatever you use. You can add now this to all categories you can add. Everywhere you go, you will find this four set of people there. The third one is, he says, the purpose of my study of Vedanta is not in terms of knowing what it is, not to become a scholar there, but the purpose here is to transform myself, to become a better person. I want to make a change. The fourth one is the next category. And it's very difficult to decipher the distinction between the third and fourth. See, one, very easy. Two, also it's very easy to understand. The third and the fourth, what is the difference between the 3 and 4 is where the difference comes into picture. The rest are all ordinary. The rest are all very easy to understand. The difficulty is to know the difference between the 3 and the 4th. The 4th person is whom we call as a mumukshu, a seeker, shishya. Or you want to change it, you can change it also. You don't have to worry about the words, okay? There's no strict categorization of these things. It's just words. The first one, curious. The second one, student. Third one is a, what do you call it? Disciple. The fourth one is the seeker. Right. Sometimes a disciple can be a seeker also, a seeker can be a disciple also, a disciple can be a student also. All the differences are there. Okay. Now, don't get into the words, please. Don't get involved with words. Right. I'm just using these 4 words for us to understand. The first one is referred as the person who is just jignasu, curious. The second one is a vidyarthi. The third one is antevasi. The fourth one is a shishya. These classifications were all made based on the intensity of mukshatva in each one of them. That when the mukshatva is very high, the desire for liberation, right? That's called mukshatva. When it is intense, that is the topmost. It is just a lukewarm. Third category. The first category is just a sparks. Just a spark is there. That's about it. First fellow, it is yet to be kindled. It is not yet kindled. So mukshatva is for all practical purpose, it is dormant. Very, very insignificant signs of presence of mumukshatva is the second category, is the vidyarthi category. Then antevasi is a one who is having this, but not really strong, just lukewarm. Now, what he says is, I want to transform. Now, we may wonder, now, what is this transformation, sir? The problem with the transformation is, you want to transform in the areas where you believe you are lacking today. You see, that's why the transformation is not a high category. A lot of people say, you got to transform yourself. Transformation is not something great in spiritual. There is one step above that also. Above that is where a person says, I want to realize the self. This third and fourth is, the third category is exactly like renovating the old house. The fourth one is rebuilding the whole thing. So what do? You demolish the entire building, remove the foundation, relay the foundation, and do the construction. That's the fourth category. The third category says, I want to transform myself. I want to make certain corrections in me because I believe there are some flaws. What are the flaws? Sir, I get angry. Like, few people had sent a reply also for that mail that I don't know how many of you received it. Share your feedback, share your thoughts, something, they say they sent it from the office, from the institute, they sent it to everyone. Just to know whether your email IDs are, functioning or not. That's about nothing else. Okay. But there are people, who sent a reply also. Very interesting to see that. That's where, I just going through. You can clearly classify people with that reply categories. They'll see this promotion. Every year this happens. How many people register? The registrations, online registrations will go for 4,000 people register for the lectures. And they were, these people are really shocked. Sir, 4,000 people register. But town hall, this Chaudhaya hall can accommodate only 1,000. I said, don't worry. 4,000 people registered, 200 fellows will come. Then why did they do the registration? That's the first category. Just curious. They just see one, clipping that, 15 seconds clipping you see, and you get impressed, you say a like button. And then subscribe. But you have no idea what is this action. First again. Second category comes little further. Third category will say, I want to attend the classes also, very, very interesting. I want to do all this. But then what I wanted to do is what? I wanted to change myself. I want to transform myself. I want to be a better person. I want to be a good person. The problem is what? Better with reference to you're old, isn't it? Whatever you are having now, you believe the opposite of that is better. Now I get angry. What is better? I should not get angry. That's all. Now I am stressed. So anything that takes me to the opposite direction, opposite of that is what? No stress, no agitation. So that dimension I will work. All other aspects of my personality, all other aspects were taken for granted. All that is correct. Only thing I'm missing is what? These two things. If I can make correction with reference to these two things, sir, then myself and Ramatirtha same. There's no difference between me and Ramatirtha. Ramana and myself will be neighbors, buddies. I'll become, Ramana, Ramatirtha, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, all these people. I will also become like them. Only thing is what? Some correction needs to be made. What correction? What I consider today, when you are ignorant, you consider something to be correct. How is it possible that that will be the right thing? Understanding this, the fourth category person comes. He says, forget about all this. I am not interested in beautifying my ego. I want to erase my ego. I am not interested in making a makeover for my ego. Put up a makeup. Now, transformation is nothing but having a makeup. That's it. Therefore, I'm not interested in that. I wanted to completely erase the whole thing and reach the fourth state. To that person alone, this Upamanam and Agama will be Praman. I may be wondering why I'm suddenly starting something off thing. Not off. We are still in the same category, in the same topic only. The four means of gaining knowledge. Of the four, we saw this first one is pratyaksha. Second one, Anumana. Third one, Upamana. Fourth one, Agama. These four pramanas The third and fourth will be taken as pramana by whom? Who will take it as a valid one? It is only a person who says, I want to go for realization. I want to not just make some course corrections in my life. There's cosmetic corrections. I'm not interested in making some, superficial beautification of my personality. That's not what I'm interested in. I wanted to completely, no traces of my past should exist. That's why when these people take sannyasa, they give a different name. They are given a new name. New name means the old is completely dead. That's about it. Now, just because you change the name, now you don't try all that. A lot of people think, okay, now tomorrow I'll also do that. I'll change my name also. By changing name, nothing is going to happen. That is only an external demonstration of that inner state. That inner personality is, the past is dead, gone completely. The new is born. Jesus dead, Christ born. That is called sannyasa. Now, just because you just have two names doesn't mean the transformation has happened, please. Okay. So the third person is interested only is making some changes, certain adjustments, personality adjustments. Right. The fourth one says, I want to completely go out. To this person alone, the fourth one has the courage to go right up to the end of pursuit. So when he is going right up to the end, to him, the first pramana is Upama, comparison. He is not interested in the logic. He is not interested, can I see God? Can I have a breakfast with him or dinner with him or lunch with him and all? No. He is not interested in all that. He says, I have to get there. If I have to get there, from where I have to start? For him, this, for his queries, for his doubts, for his questions, the answer given is through this pramana of Upamanam, comparison. Otherwise, this Upamana is, we rely on logic. No, you can't rely on logic. You cannot rely. Those two people, the first three categories will be heavily relying on the first category. The first category will rely only on what? Can I see God? That's it. So he doesn't go beyond that. The second one and the third one will be working with reference to that limited applications of reasoning. The fourth person, the starting point of the fourth is Upamana. When that fourth category of student goes to the peak, for him, Agama is the Pramana. So what is this Upamana? Upamana is just a comparison. From known, unknown is given to you. Sorry. The unknown object is brought to your cognition, to your understanding, by comparing to something that is known to you. So the unknown is brought to known. What is unknown for us today? Right now, for the student, what is unknown, what is unbelievable for him is the origin of this world, from where it began. What is the starting point? And where it is going to end? Will it ever end, first of all? The world that I'm experiencing, the world that I'm seeing around me, has a tremendous stand, solid experience of this. And he has this question, what is the origin? To him, Vedanta, or the comparison given here is, imagine the same question being asked by the dreamer in the dream world. Okay. What is the answer you will give? There are two ways of answering to the dreamer who is asking about the origin of the dream. One is to say, there is a Big Bang theory. How did the dream earth came about? The dream earth came from the dream sun. From where did the dream sun come about? From this Milky Way, dream Milky. The dream Milky Way came from where? There was a big blast happened. From that blast, the whole thing came about. This is one answer given by one set of thinkers. Another set of thinkers in the dream will say, no, all these things came about from the string theory. There is another theory. Both are science only. Right? So one says this, another person says this. Like that, there are so many theories have been given to the dreamer, explaining the origin of the dream. Suddenly, one fellow comes and says, all this did not come about in stages. All this came together. Now you believe planet Earth came about millions of years back. How old are you? I'm just, 40. I'm just giving an example. 40 years. Can you account for your 40 years? You can account every year. From this year to this year, I was living there. This is the proof. From this year to this year, I was there. This year to this year, I was there. This year, this year. And then I can go right up to my birth. Can take you, trace you back, trace back. And then I can trace back further to a point where I wasn't. Before that, I was not there. But the world was there. So I came much, much later. The world came much, much earlier. Is what the dreamer believes. Now, once you wake up, you understand what? Was it the Milky Way came first? And then sun? And then the earth? And then unicellular organism? And then became multicellular organism, and then it developed into this, then it developed into this, then it became amoeba, then amoeba became this, became that, and then you're born. Is this the way you appeared in the dream and the dream world? The dream world, the dreamer appeared simultaneous. It's not that the dream world came first and then the dreamer entered into that world. Same way, waker and the waking world came together. Can a dreamer understand that? Will the dreamer accept that? The dreamer will never agree to it. He will never understand it. Similarly, the waker will never agree to it, will never understand it. The dreamer will say, what nonsense you are talking. Same way, the waker also will say, talking nonsense. When will the waker understand this did not appear in stages? The creation did not happen in steps. 1, 2, 3 is not the way it happened. It happened simultaneously. When he will understand that? Says, when the dreamer became the waker, he understood no. Similarly, when the waker goes to the fourth state, he will understand. Till then, you will believe it as what? Waker different, waking world different. This is what Upamana gives you. What does it give? It just gives you how that infinite, multifold, various objects and beings that are experienced in the waking world by the waker, everything folds back into that one supreme reality, one consciousness, one self. How come that one became so much? Exactly like how that one waker's mind projected various things in the dream. One fiber of the waker's mind is the dream sun. Another fiber of the waker's mind is the dream moon. Another fiber is the river. Another fiber is the field. Another fiber is the bull. Another fiber is the crop. Another fiber is the dreamer who is plowing the field. Or he is harvesting, enjoying the harvest. The dreamer, one fiber. Dream objects and beings are all just nothing but one waker's mind. This, the dreamer will never understand. Similarly, the waker is also this infinite, multivarious experiences that are experienced in the waking world is nothing but this. The beauty is the same. Folding. Same way, so many questions can be answered here. Like a lot of people keep asking, how do you know whether a man is enlightened or not? It's very simple to identify. There's no big difficulty. Look at what he is talking. Like he gives a beautiful story. There are a few things, which struck me so well. Classic one. I was so interested. So it became, big. It impressed me very well. That impression was so much in my mind. There was a person who saw there is a big poverty-stricken people in the world, in the dream, okay? All this is happening in the dream. He saw there was a flood, there was an earthquake, all that. A lot of people lost their properties and wealth, everything is gone. So what this man did was, he took it up on himself to collect the funds. Where? In the dream. Remember that. Okay. Collecting funds and applied to the government and got the sanction of a land and leveled the land, got hold of a builder, built houses for all those people. Humongous effort. Right. And he has fixed the date for distribution of the keys, house key, to be given to all those people. And he has invited the Minister of Housing to come and distribute the keys. And he's making arrangements. He has invited all those people. All of them were standing in queue. Whereas the general public also had come. And this man is so busy in organizing the documents. All the documents were all proper, It's all to be properly being given to those people. There should not be any, confusions and all that. That document and that key. That document, that key. That document, that key. All that he is arranging and he is holding in his hands because he can't give it to others. It is his responsibility. So he was holding that. And they were waiting for the minister to arrive. And in between, he just, had some work to do. He has gone inside. And when he has just got inside, he got the news that the minister's car has arrived. And he's in a rush, he was coming. And they had put the red carpet, The red carpet reception was given there. In the red carpet, he tripped and fell. He got up from his bed. The fellow woke up. Okay. He fell. He has fallen from the bed actually. He was rolling and, he had fallen. And he woke up. Now, will he, what he will do now? I remember Swamiji asking me this question. He said, what will you do? He asked me. One thing I learned is this. Whenever these masters, ask question, you should not answer. You say, I don't know. You should never give answer to them. Whatever they ask. Even if they ask, what's your name? You say, I don't know. Safe. They asked me, it's like because I was interested in social work and all those things. All this. So they're asking me. Now, that man's work was something humongous work. It's not an easy task. No, who will take it up and do all that? He has done all those things. All those people are waiting. Will you try somehow to go back to the dream because all those people are waiting there? Now, enlightenment is what? Enlightened person is one who gets a special entry permit. As waker, you get a special entry into dream, not as dreamer. Remember, when you go to sleep and when you dream, you are not entering the dream as a waker. You are entering the dream as a dreamer. Now, as waker, you go into dream. Right? That is enlightened person there. Now people come and asking for solution or problem. What is the solution he will give? Corruption. What is the answer he will give? Let us sit for fasting. Let us stand for protest. Or he will say, wake up. Imagine you go into the dream and you meet the dreamer there. And the dreamer is coming and telling you, I have a business problem. What is the solution? Wake up. I have a relationship problem. What is the solution? Wake up. Social problem. Global warming is happening. What should I do? Wake up. And what is so interesting is, the solution given by you, no one will agree in the dream. The dreamer will never agree to your solution. He will say, Petal. He'll say, now what I am asking, what are you talking? There is no connection between my problem and the solution that you are giving. Exactly same way, the enlightened master's solutions given to us, we can never make a connection. Say, what is the solution for your samsaric problem? They say, realize. We say what? Enna connection. What is that? Sir, I'm having a business problem now. Should I invest or not? There is a loan. There is electricity problem. There is this problem. There is water shortage. This is there. I have all those problems. Any problem you go with, his only solution will be what? Or his first solution will be what? Wake up. You have no other business. You don't have to do anything else. Says. Now that is what this Upama is. Comparison. This comparison gives. Now, who will get inspired by comparison is only the one who is committed for realization. Otherwise, the comparison will say, we'll go. You won't get impressed. You will not get that inspiration. This will be inspiring to you, provided you are in that category. You know, if that mokshatva is there, to a seeker, this is how the dream world came about. That entire infinite phenomenon of the dream came from one mind. Similarly, now what is the difference? Now this is very important to know. Only then we can move to the next one. Comparison gives you that initial momentum. But final one is that Agama only for him. Even comparison, he is not going to be satisfied. The final pramana is ultimate pramana is Agama. This Agama pramana means tradition, he says. The fourth means of attaining knowledge, page number 198. The fourth means of attaining knowledge is through tradition. Tradition is based on time-honored preaching and practice. The ancient sages have tried to expound their ultimate experience of the self, but could not effectively communicate because of the limitations of the body, mind, and intellect to receive it. The fourth plane of God consciousness cannot be captured by the waker's perception, emotion, and thought in the waking state of consciousness, much less through the states of dream and deep sleep. Nothing from the terrestrial world can describe the transcendental being. The sages understood the difficulty of the mortals to conceive the immortal self. Hence, they explained the waking, dream, and deep sleep states of consciousness exhaustively. Underline this. Okay. Those who have the book. Those who have the habit of underlining can do it, because this is the catch. I repeat. Hence, they explained the waking, dream, and deep sleep states of consciousness exhaustively. They analyzed these states with chaste logic and reason, and projected the possibility of the transcendental reality. Following their methodic presentation of facts and figures, one develops a faith in the reality, not a blind faith, but one that is born of conviction. Such faith is further reinforced by unequivocal declaration of self-realized souls. Rabindranath Tagore, the Indian poet-philosopher, describes this faith as a bird that feels the light and sings while the dawn is still dark. The Vedantic tradition helps you feel the light of consciousness even as you remain in the darkness of ignorance. Now, what is this Agama? Agama or Shabda. This Agama Pramana. Tradition. Tradition means don't say immediately in our house, the tradition is don't start. Okay. This is what our problem is. Whenever you use the word tradition, we say in Karnataka, the tradition is this. In India, the tradition is this. That is not what is referred here as tradition. Tradition here means the traditional teachings, the teachings given out by those great masters, which is the other one is the way you understand through this verbal testimony. Communication happening through verbal testimony. Verbal testimony means, traditional means the preachings and the practice. That's what Agama is. Preachings of whom? Not anyone who conducts Vedanta class. Okay. Then whose preaching you have to take? Whose verbal testimony you have to take? That is important. See, the one who is to be taken is, he should be trustworthy. The statement should be taken from the trustworthy person. Trustworthy person means what? The person should have worked in that particular field. Right? Just because I know how to fly an aircraft doesn't give me any authority to comment about Rafale deal. Isn't it? First of all, it has no connection. You're all with me? See, there is a defense deal happens, right? And we comment about it. On what basis I comment? What do I know about the strategic thinking should be there for defense? How transparent the defense department should be? Can they be calling the entire media and keep revealing? Can we expect the defense department to be revealing to this one? Can you call those people for this hour? We have this news channels, they call people to talk, So they call one army chief, every year, every month, every week, the army general has to come and explain to the public. Public should know what is happening. Indian people should know. As citizens, we have the right to know. Therefore, what are we supposed to do? All the defense deals and everything should be made public. There should be transparency, should be there. With whom? There has to be a dealing. The dealing should be done how? So they had what is it? The surgical strike. When you are going for surgical strike, you should inform the parliament. First, what you have to do? First, call for a special meeting of the parliament, bring in all the MPs and Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, everybody should come together and then tell them they should approve, and then we will go for surgical strike. Will it be a surgical strike then? The deals, now who is qualified to talk about it? That's important. Everyone speaking doesn't make it valuable. Remember, that person should be qualified to talk in that field. Now, qualified to talk in the field doesn't mean I know how to use it. I have been flying in the aircraft. Therefore, I know how to fly the aircraft. Can I say that? I've been traveling every month. I travel 4 times in the flight. Therefore, I know how to fly an aircraft. Same way, Just because I know how to fly an aircraft doesn't qualify me to give technical details and the defense details of Rafale. Isn't it? There's no connection. In what way are you connected? Like you teach, I teach Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, I am qualified to advise you people on which stock you should buy. Why? Because I have read 4 books in finance. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I read. And then I read this book, I read that book, 4 books I read. Based on that, I advise you people on that. That is not to be taken as Shabda Praman. Why? He has not gone through the systematic learning in that particular field. 2 orthosurgeons giving 2 different opinions. Both are Shabda Praman. Remember that. He is also an orthosurgeon. He is also an orthosurgeon. He is also cardiac surgeon. He is also a cardiac surgeon. One person says, go ahead. Another person says, not needed. Both are trustworthy people only. Now, then who I'm going to take, that is a different thing. But the first qualification is what? That person should have worked in that particular field for his statements to be taken as Shabda Pramana, preachings, his advices, his teachings, whoever makes any statements. Then comes other qualification. So first qualification is what? Aptavakya. This tradition, that's what he is saying, preaching. He says what he is talking about is Aptavakya. Aptavakya means the statement of a trustworthy person. Then comes the second one. Is a source has to be authentic. Trustworthy person, his authenticity, and his authenticity is tested on what basis? On the basis of 2 points. These are all basic study about Shabda Praman. Okay. All this you study in Nyaya Shastra. But this is very basic, very minimal to know about Shabda or Agama. Both are same. Okay. That, in the Vedantic language, we use the word Agama. In the Nyaya Shastra, they refer the same thing as, Shabda Pramana. So it's interchangeable, synonymous terms. Now, the second one is authenticity. How do you know the authenticity of it, appropriateness of it, sir? First point you need to remember is the statements made or the teachings of that Shabda Pramana should not come and contradict with other Pramanas. Right? There is no contradiction. Number one. Number two, they say is, what is stated by Shabda Pramana, other Pramanas cannot come and disprove it. So they don't come and disprove, they cannot disprove, nor this conflicts with that. Whatever the conclusions of that Pramana, other Pramanas, this doesn't, conflict with that one. Any statement referring to that coming here is not in conflict. They are in sync. So whatever the pratyaksha says, this also says. Whatever that says, this also. Any statements, wherever they make any statements, the statements are not in conflicting with the conclusions of that. Meaning, simple thing. Nowhere you will find the statement such as, there is a sample of cool fire. existing in this. That statement you will not find in the Vedas. Wherever they refer about the nature of fire, they will say it is bright. It is heat. They will never say there is a sample of fire which is very dark. The smoke can be covering that, but that is a property of the smoke, not the fire. The fire's property is what? Should be, that is what is meant. What I'm referring is this. The conclusions of the other pramanas were to be referred here in Shabda, they are not conflict. They sync. So all the inferential conclusions that we come about with reference to the world, and when this Agama tradition were to make some statements with reference to the world, they are in sync. They are not in conflict with each other. But then, every pramana we have seen. What is a qualification for pramana? Every pramana has a unique matter, unique knowledge to be revealed. There is a unique subject matter. What is the subject matter of Shabda Pramana? What is the uniqueness? Is the Shabda Pramana comes in only to give the knowledge of Adrishta. Adrishta not in the sense luck, ill luck, please. Right? Drishta means perceptible. Adrishta means non-perceptible, imperceptible. The imperceptible dimensions of life is what is the inquiry of that, revealing, giving us the knowledge of that is called Shabda Pramana. The subject matter itself is that. Therefore, for example, logically you can never detect the existence of punya and papa. Isn't it? Heaven and hell. There is heaven, there is hell. Okay. They say, this is what heaven is, this is what hell is. When they're explaining about heaven, hell, punya, papa, etc., or God, Brahman, all these things, none of those things can be understood, derived through other three means. Pratyaksha not possible, Anumana not possible, comparison also not possible. With what will you compare? Punya Papa you want to compare means with what will you do? The only way you have is what? To go to Shabda Praman, Agama, tradition, because they say so. That doesn't mean it is blind faith. That's what he is giving here. So don't take immediately blind faith. Why you are not able to take it is not because it is not verifiable, but to verify that, you need to travel with it first. Like many things with reference to science, we don't understand. Correct? It's not that you understand whatever is given by science. You agree. You say, this is the best. You said initially, I remember, they said, coconut oil you should not use, cholesterol, very bad. Never use coconut oil. What you should use? Only olive oil you should use. Now I go to US. There the fellow has this, virgin coconut oil. That Costco had a rack. Rack is not like a small one, It's slightly bigger than my house actually. That entire section is only for coconut oil. Now what is he saying? Coconut oil is the best. Best one to have in life is, sir, in fact, you should have cholesterol. Cholesterol is not bad. I say, now what? One day you say this, one day you say that. That is also science, this is also science. Now this fellow says, you should have cholesterol, you should not have cholesterol. Then the fellow says, no, no, good cholesterol, you have bad cholesterol. The body doesn't know good, bad, and all that. It understands cholesterol, that's all. Now, it's not going to say that, no, only good I keep, all bad I delete. What are we going to do now? Then on what basis you accept? On what basis you reject? On what basis you do all that is because of the source. Those who give it out were a reliable source. When WHO makes a statement, there is a credibility for it. Isn't it? It's a credibility. That's why we take those people as valuable. Assumption. They are more credible than someone just making on the roadside. On what basis? The basis of the credibility of the source. The credibility of these masters is established. 1. 2 is our incapacitation to receive it. Like, the child is asking that question. 1.5-year-old child is asking, or a 2-year-old child is asking, how did I enter into your stomach? What is the answer you will give? Why you did not take me to your wedding? Child, what is the answer you will give? It's not that you are not having the answer. It's not that the question is invalid. It's a valid question. It's not that there is no answer to it. There is an answer. But the problem is what? The child is not in a position today to understand the answer. Therefore, you say something, knowing fully well whatever you are saying is not the truth at all. Correct. You cannot give it out. Not because you are not having. Similarly, these masters have the knowledge, but the problem is what? It is not, they cannot communicate. The receptacle has a defect. It's like you want to carry that live charcoal on a tissue paper. How can you carry a live coal on a tissue paper? It's not possible. So you want to carry, go and bring a iron vessel, he said. Go and get it. Then I can give you. That is where the 4 categories come into picture. You have to be a person who is interested in realization. Then something phenomenal happens. What you want to know is about God, but the scripture will do what? Will not analyze God. He says, very, very interesting statement here. The sages understood the difficulty of the mortals to conceive the immortal self, which means we cannot understand God, but you want to reach to God. You want to get to that God consciousness. What is that state of self-realization? What is the 4th state? Is what you wanted to know, is what you go on asking the master. But what the master they do, they understand that you are not capable to conceive that immortal self. Therefore, what they will do, sir? Hence, they explain the waking, dream, and deep sleep states of consciousness exhaustively. Exhaustive analysis will be done with reference to what? With reference to what is known to you. The student goes to the master to know about what is unknown to him. What is unknown to him? Unknown to him is God, Brahman, self. What is known to him is what? World. His states of consciousness. waking, dream, deep sleep, all that is known to him. Right? He goes. So you go to the teacher, you go to the master, you go to that scripture to know what is not known to you. But what do they go on analyzing? Teaching you. They go on teaching you about what is known to you. I hope you are all with me. You see the shift. That is why the students get annoyed with the teacher. See, if I go on talking about what is unknown to you, it will be engaging, it will be entertaining to you. Why? Because that's what you wanted. What you wanted to know is what? About God. You are asking about God, I go on explaining about world. You go on asking about moksha, I go on explaining about samsara. You keep on asking about the fourth state, I go on explaining about waking, dream, deep sleep. There's no connection, no, between question and answer. Huh? If there's no connection between question and answer, what will make you continue the pursuit? What will inspire you? That's why this portion is superb. The states of consciousness is a classical portion. You cannot miss it. This is how you are supposed to read the book. You should read, line by line, word by word. You have to read these texts because it's all, sizzled like that. The book is. It's not a blind faith, please. Then what does it say? It is born of conviction. Conviction of what? You all have heard this Valmiki story, written. Okay, I'll explain Valmiki story in the next class. Remind me, but if you don't remind me, I'll forget. 1 week, not too much for me to remember. You got to remember that. The tradition is Agama is eyes are used to gain exclusive knowledge. What can be gained through eye can be gained only through eye. Similarly, what can be gained through Agama Pramana can be gained only through Agama Pramana. Don't expect other Pramanas to come and validate it. Agama Pramana says there is Punya, there is Papa, there is Brahman, there is heaven, there is hell, there is cause and effect. For every karma that you do, you get result. All this is not. See, we can understand the general things. Simple things we can understand. See, you put finger in fire, it burns. You don't require Agama Pramana for that. If you want to know, just go and put it. You'll get that knowledge. You don't require, Vedanta for that. So Agama Pramana means what, sir? Agama Pramana, another word for Agama Pramana is Vedanta. So whenever we use the word Vedanta, what we are referring to is Agama Pramana only. Remember that. Veda, Vedanta, Shabda Pramana, Agama Pramana, all this means the same thing. How do you develop that conviction? Because that faith that you get, you cannot understand. What you are asking is with reference to God, but they go on teaching about the world. What I want to know is liberation. They explain samsara. First, we need to know why they are doing that. Why they go on giving answers, they go on explaining things which is known to me first. They say, that I know, that I know. Every step after it, that's why when you read these books, after reading it will appear to you as what? Of course I know this. After reading, of course I know this. Okay, next step, only that I don't know. Okay, then next step. This conflict, this contradiction is there. From what we seek, what we want to know, what we would prefer is this. That's where the four category of students come into picture. The fourth category, Shishya, his vision is to go and reach that state. But he will want to know, he would be engaging himself into the inquiry of the known. The known is what he will go on inquiring. That is the hallmark of a Shishya. The one who gets engaged in the study and inquiry of the unknown, getting inspiration to study about the unknown God, they belong to which categories? 1, 2, 3. Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. That's about it. But definitely he is not the fourth category of student. The fourth category of student only will stay to go through this process because of this. That's why this line I said, make a note. In this paragraph, the essential line is that they explain the waking, dream, and deep sleep states of consciousness exhaustively. Why they do it? What is, to whom they do it? Who will be interested to know about it? This is the questions you have to ask. When you ask this question, all that we study will come out. This is how you go through it. We'll see more in the next class.